archive of fractured, splintered thoughts, disassociated, presences. Memories that trace back over the ocean of our own being inside ourselves, where time is more like winds across the surface of a membrane than any simple one-directional flow. Is there a concretion of history? Are there diverging timelines? Are there multiple selves attached to this James? This handle, this label called James? His life story? A footprint? Are there hundreds of other Jameses simultaneously, all connected to the same master above? Are we walking backwards through time, remembering a deeper self? Does art document an awareness of terrain and culture in the zeitgeist, transgenic moments of artificial life, half-life? Does man become creator? The farmer thinking that he is the habitat. The forces at play and the stories that are told proliferate depending on your rabbit hole of concern or ethnicity, gene expression of the tribe that you feel you belong to. Homogenization in a global marketplace sort of limits the stories that are able to be sent and received, and yet realities still occur outside of that limiting filter. So the synthetic, the mimicry, the inversion of the created false, of economy, of media, of ego, of intellectual pursuit that only values intellectual pursuit, like simulation hypothesis that sees ones and zeros, like text-based history that only sees text. It's interesting, isn't it? How we manifest ourselves into everything that we see. We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. And yet the world, the more the sensitive people inquire into it, it's amazing divine intelligence present here, as if it was a microcosm of the universe's divine intelligence even. heaven and earth, you might say, a union. It's the mystery is unpacked, and I think the old stories and who we are as an ancient animal locates much more depth and meaning. Than the hamster wheel of perpetual distraction outside, individuated, atomized, desperate, lost souls. I woke screaming last night. I woke screaming. I was terrified. I was terrified for my life. Something in my dream, and I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was. Absolutely terrified. I went and slept in another room. Probably an attempt at someone's connection with me gone wrong. Some kind of psychic crossed wires. Like my artistic crossed wire with my culture. Which isn't actually my culture at all. It's someone else's culture. I think I've slipped beneath the waves if I wasn't already living there from the start. Yeah. I like that idea of dolphins being highly evolved back to the ocean after screwing it up on land. I like that idea. I'd be a dolphin, I suppose. Yeah. Hippie, hippie, hippie. So, the way we were an ancient animal and the way I see art is relevant to the habitat that we all share. And I think there are common markers in that. It's not just an individual delusion, fantasy. We do exist within common occurrences that affect all of us. And yeah, art responds like a nervous system, like a dream. Even if that dream is unwanted or misinterpreted or denied. I think integrating the collective unconscious, the repressed, the shadow, the churning trauma, recycling of birth, parent and child, and hijacks of clockwork wars, resetting nervous systems. Or cloning experiments in underground bases, or man-made cells, or human milk being produced in cow udders by gene splicing and glow-in-the-dark kittens and spider goats, and these Frankenstein harvesting of late-term abortions, as a friend mentioned yesterday. Stem cells, organ harvesting. Yeah. So we're born into this cult. And to remain human is pretty much all of us can hope to do, if indeed we are human anymore, with legal designations of other people's patents in our bodies. So bearing witness, making as if the innocence of us before we were violated had some currency of divine intelligence that we attempt to articulate at the moment on a daily basis. Probably enjoy this more than the art making at the moment. Although I will dip my toe in, I suppose. I do trust the process. Just trying to get my head round what for, how, why. My kit set of different models and behaviours of appealing to this situation or that situation is just overwhelming. I've been at it a long time, and there's nary little game left in the forest. I remembered a book by a chap called Dan Goldman, I believe. It's called Ishmael, and it was basically a biological anthropology kind of lecture in a narrative form. And Ishmael is one of the brothers in the early Bible. I think Ishmael pretty much represents nomadic hunter-gatherers, and then the other chap, Cain. Can't remember Ishmael. The other tribe. They were tribes. They weren't individuals. Types of people, you might say, on the land. And the other one was a agricultural city-state farmer who hoarded the food and created hierarchy and military and changed their tooth decay and death and suffering and bondage. And whereas the hunter-gatherer, nomadic people moved about and lived as humans have always lived on the planet. And so then you enter your God-King military, patriarchal warfare, human civilization game. Haves and have-nots and power over. Because if you're controlling habitat rather than responding to it. So it's interesting, isn't it, what grain cultivation did. And of course, scientists call that the Anthropocene as well. So it's interesting. It's interesting. And of course that may have happened in relation to mass catastrophe cycles as well, which are probably cyclic, and I think probably due, nothing to do with us. It's a regular period of the goddess in relation to other forces that she is part of. And there's an energy field, and it's not just physical, it's informational and energetic, and that's why we're here. Temporary meat suits in a holographic fractal universe of unbelievingly mysterious and wonderful co-created design. So they say. I'll sign off now. Thank you.